Come on.
Did they get the ship? It's coming.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town, show 404. Thanks for tuning in. We've got some great underwriters, Brewster PC Solutions with, hey, me, Wrestling Brewster.
And he fixes computers.
And underwriters
Sometimes.
David and Kevin Gallerani, owners of Cape Auto Body Service, locations in Samoset Street and Sandwich Street.
Davey
Great
G.
service, great people. And Trifletti and Costa. Tonight, we've got the three Amigos plus one. And we hope that people will call in. It's always better when other than David Gallerani calls in. Welcome. We've got
And what is that number to call in?
That number to call in
508.
is 508-830-3971. We've got Andrew Boterri, we've got Steve Lyden, Tim Grandy, and me, Wrestling Brewster. So, guys, how we doing?
Doing
What's
great.
going on?
What's going on?
Great.
What
It's been
are we
a
talking
while.
about first? It's been a while since I was here.
Yeah, it has been.
Yeah, so you should have a lot to talk about. What do you want to talk about?
I come in from the bullpen.
You come in from the bullpen.
Bring in the righty.
What do we want to talk about, Andrew? You got something you want to talk
Well,
about?
let's,
Something you want to promote? So,
Yeah, let's a couple
so,
things.
shameless.
First thing is we've got this Tuesday night. Is this me right here? Yeah. This Friday night at the Spire Center, we have the annual Arties Award, and this is where we are recognizing those in our community who have gone above and beyond when it comes to the arts, the culture, theater, whatever. And we've got the list of the nominees. For the two big Heritage Awards, I have nominated the Plymouth Philharmonic Orchestra because it is their 100th year anniversary, as well as the Friends of Miles Standish State Forest, which is also celebrating their 100th anniversary. Also, for the regular Artie Awards, we have nominated Gary Wass and Jody Pritchie from, sorry, Jody, for Prifty from First Saturday, which is a great event every first Saturday of the month. Downtown merchants get together and put together live music, great specials at their stores and locations for everybody to go in. Also, Hollis Mick Green, who has the music box downtown. It's great about, he's been nominated because he gives instruments away to those who are underprivileged that can't afford them, who love music, and he gives them an opportunity to showcase their talents. Maria Selman, who has volunteered for many numerous nonprofits. She is also an artist at the Plymouth Center for the Arts. She's been nominated. Mary Jo Hansen has also been nominated, and she is at the Art Guild. Richard Mulcahy, who is the board president of Plymouth Center for the Arts. And Scott Smith, editor of the OCM, for all his contributions that he does for the arts. Neil McGarry and the Bay Colony Shakespeare Company. If you've never seen Shakespeare in the Park on the summers, it's a great, great event. And then also Donna Curtin has also been nominated, who is currently the head of the Pilgrim Museum. So again, it's this Friday night. If you are interested, please go on to the Spire Center's website and order your tickets. And I'll have some other shameless plugs that I'll talk about later.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
Also, tomorrow night at the Plymouth South Cafetorium is the Harbor Plan. It's the final public meeting, trying to get the Harbor Plan together, something that the Harbor Committee has been working on for a while. The town's starting to roll with it. If you've got a voice or a question or something that you want to talk about with the Harbor Plan, please show up, 7 o'clock. They're talking a little bit about the Harbor Plan. We've gotten together and we're working with Urban Harbors, trying to get a harbor plan together. And it's basically where we want to see the harbor going. It's been really well received by the town, and we've been having some good meetings on it. So.
What are some of the things that they're looking to improve down at the harbor?
Well, it's the great thing about a harbor plan is it's where you want the harbor to go. And one of the things that we really want the town to start doing is focusing on the harbor. is they came out with some stats last year. We are the second or third biggest producer of lobsters in the state.
Wow.
That's
That come into the harbor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gloucester, New Bedford, and then us.
How'd you say Gloucester?
Gloucester. Thank you.
Was he?
Old English.
Old English, that's right.
Where's he from?
It's with an I.
He learned it from Elder Brewster.
The really cool thing about that, though, is that both Gloucester and
There
New
it is. You said
Bedford
it right that time.
are they're like major manufacturers. These guys go out for a month at a time.
Yeah.
And Plymouth is all local guys who go out every day. And
Interesting.
so to become the third largest producer.
Wow.
But that's one of the things that we really want to focus on is how much the harbor is. It's a working harbor. It's got recreation. It's a huge part of the town of Plymouth. And we have a master plan for the town, but to have a harbor plan, one of the great things that you can do with a harbor plan is you can use that when you're going for grants. One of the first thing that the people who give out the grants, well, where's your harbor plan? What are you doing with the harbor? What's happening?
The vision.
The vision. Yeah, it's not about vision, and it's we've had 3 public meetings so far talking to the general public about what they feel is the most important stuff. We're having the 4th one tomorrow night, and then we sit down and we start really creating them.
Are you a member of the Harbor Committee?
Yes,
You are.
yes, I am.
So aside from the new T-docks that they're putting in, the landing, the boat landing, that's separate from the harbor, or is that part in conjunction? Or
Well, it's
because it seems like it would be part of that because
Yeah.
obviously they're expanding it,
Yes.
Building it up so that
Yes.
you can bring more boats in, tie up side, side.
and it's kind of trying to bring that into the harbor plan. It's the if you really want to get into it, a lot of people are upset about the boat ramp not opening till June. It's a 30-year plan. We've been trying to get this done for 30 years.
Sounds like the parking plan.
Yeah, exactly. But
We got the cars. We just got no place to put them.
right, exactly.
You talk about the harbor plan and the grants. Hasn't Plymouth already received grants?
Yeah,
And one is part of it to do this state boat ramp, correct?
yeah, the T-Wharf.
Correct.
Yeah,
So that's also part of the master plan for the harbor.
yes, and it's separate than the master plan from the town. It's more focused on the harbor. So
But they work in conjunction with each other.
Yes, that's what we want to do. That's what we want to do, and it's starting to focus on it. And we really hope that once the plan's put in place, that we have goals and we have ways of getting things done, and oversight, so that it's not just this piece of paper that says, "Hey, we want to do this, and this."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and since we're on the harbor, you want to talk about the promenade?
Yeah, I mean, I was reading about it the other over the weekend, and sort of keeping a little bit abreast about it. But it was what was interesting is obviously they were showing some of the the charts of what it's going to look like, the diagrams. One thing is most of the people that read the paper, they're a little bit older, so. Can you make the diagrams a little bit bigger? Even with my glasses, I still had trouble reading some of that stuff. But I think what really caught my eye in reading it, it sounds good. It's obviously, an improvement. I think it seemed like they were going to be sort of like redoing some of the things, like right in front of the
Ziggy's
in Ziggy's and that, but also in front of the Rock.
Yeah.
But the biggest concern, and again, here we are. We're talking about merchants. We're talking about small businesses, and they're going to start construction in mid-July. Which again, as we saw last year, even with the Rotary, how we lost a handful of parking spaces first of all.
Yeah.
But the other thing was that we ended up, a lot of those businesses, a lot of people didn't make it to downtown because of just the snarling of the traffic.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's the biggest concern of everybody from the Pillory to that whole set of stores right there, the gift
Rebels.
shops, the souvenir shops. All the way up into the next set of buildings. But the other thing was that they were talking about, and that's going to be mid-July. There's also they've been now told that, at least this is what I've been hearing, is that they're also going to start replacing the pipes, sewer pipes in that same area, like in the next couple weeks. So this could possibly be something where that road on Water Street is going to be in some shape, manner, or form torn up or obstructed.
The businesses are going to suffer from this, and also what's going to hurt the businessmen, not only on the waterfront but downtown, is the Mayflower tour will not be here.
Yeah, till
Till
June.
And
June.
it is coming back in June.
Yeah, the whole thing with the Mayflower is it's coming back in June, but then it's going away for 2 to 3 years.
And that is a big draw of
They need
for tourists.
$5 million.
Nine.
Is it up to nine now?
$9 million, I was told.
Yeah.
And that
Because they
and
keep breaking and everything they fix.
Well, I was surprised at how many visitors do go to the, the Mayflower too, and how much it.
It's a draw.
It's a draw. It's a big draw.
And we really need to realize that. And I think I've talked to the plantation a lot about one. They got to do something. Put something down there.
Get a tall ship, one of the smaller of the tall ships.
That'd be great,
down
one of the
there
town
would come
ships
in.
or something.
That'd be a great idea.
The other thing that I was talking to Ellie at the plantation about is, couldn't you auction off tickets to go from Mystic to Plymouth on the Mayflower? Wouldn't someone pay big bucks for that?
I would pay for that.
Yeah. Yeah, 10 grand a piece or something like that.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that high.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah,
20,000 for you.
20,000 for you. But auction that off. She was saying that the Coasties have some regulations about how many people.
Yeah, gonna be on board.
Still, you
For 2 years,
something
please.
like that.
Well, not only that, they receive no funds at all from the CPC.
Right.
You know, we give
Even though it's historical.
funds to have the windows replaced. We gave money to have the painting restored. You know, we're putting in $5 million at the courthouse. We're buying a lot of open space, which I am against. But
That's what it's supposed to be for, though.
But you know, the CPC should be giving money to the Mayflower because it's historic. Two, it's
Yeah, but the
biggest draw this
CPC
whole
was.
town has.
First, have they applied
I
to
don't
the
know.
CPC?
I don't know. I was told, but I'm not gonna.
I don't
you know.
know, but I know this. They need to apply to the CPC
Right.
to be accepted or granted funding.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Community Preservation Committee doesn't go out looking
Looking to give out money.
looking to give out
Plus
money,
the
but
original
the applications come in and they look at those applications.
original intent of the
case-by-case basis.
CPC is something that
Yeah,
we
there's
lose
so
sight
much
of.
for open space, so much
Right.
for.
Yeah.
But again, and as I was hearing that, and obviously I sit on one of the committees for the Plymouth County Cultural District, and this was obviously brought up because it's all about the local merchants and stuff. And as a businessman, you look at things and say, okay, where was the planning? I mean, if they knew that the Mayflower was going to be gone, and especially where we've got a deadline for 2020 coming up, and you've got. And now, even this summer, like last summer, you guys all went over to England for that whole festivities. Now they're coming here this summer.
Yep.
And
the choir.
The choir's coming here.
Yep.
But again, where was the
Memorial Day
forethought to
weekend.
say, all right, we know that the Mayflower is going to need some work done to it. It could be gone for, a year to 2 years. Well, and again, maybe it's just me. I just think that we about being proactive, especially when it comes to business and revenues and stuff, is why wasn't this done a couple years ago? I'm sure that they knew that it needed.
The problem is that they're very self-contained. The plantation self-contained. The Pilgrim Hall is self-contained, and they're not. They don't work. They don't play well together. And one of the things that I've always said is, if you're not going to have the Mayflower down there, at least have some guy in costume going down. Hey, you should go to the plantation. You should go here. You should, I would think that having somebody in costume from the plantation on every street corner, if you can.
Like they do in Philadelphia.
Right, exactly. And guiding, we have no, they talk about the necklace or the chain or whatever they call it. We have nothing that says, when you come to Plymouth, you should go to the Rock, go to the Mayflower, go to Pilgrim Hall, go to the least known monument in the United States, the Forefathers Monument. Go to the plantation. Go to
Grist Mill.
The grist mill. All these things. It's they never get together and promote tourism, which is one of the things. I'm on the board of the directors of the 400th, and one of the things that we have such a problem with is the state of Massachusetts doesn't realize that tourism is one of their main sources of income. We never, the state never sees that as the main source of income.
Well, what do they see as the main source of income?
Tech right now.
Yep.
Tech, and that's because the 400th has been trying to go to the state and to the feds saying, hey, look, we're having this big celebration. It's going to be Plymouth's 400th, then it's going to be Quincy's, then it's going to be Salem, and then Boston. And all these boom, 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 the amount of income that can be generated from some of these things is astronomical, but we need the funding to get there.
Wasn't there just some funding that was granted at the State House? Or
$100,000.
There was some funding for the 400th Commission, which is a bunch of towns, Salem, Boston, Quincy, Plymouth, so that they can get together as the 400 Commission and go to the feds and say, hey, look, we're this big commission of all these towns together. You got to pay attention to us because it's going to be huge. The guys from the Mayflower 400th, which is England's thing, came a couple of weeks ago, and I went to their presentation, and it's like,
the money that they have gotten is unbelievable.
Look at the money Jamestown
It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
It's embarrassing because I listened to his presentation, probably a shorter version of what you got at the selectmen's meeting, and I'll tell you, this guy is, I shouldn't say guy, this gentleman from England, Adrian, was telling us that they're getting this, and I'm saying,
they're building a new art center in Plymouth, England.
Yeah.
We're getting nothing compared to what they're getting.
And that's what they went to.
Where's he getting his funding from?
The government.
The government gave him $4 million.
$4 million. He's getting different grants from different organizations.
The government of England.
The government of England. Yep.
So the Queen. Gave him $4 million.
Well,
long live the Queen.
Long live it. Bring her over here. Let's bring her here.
We don't have a Queen here.
No, Parliament here.
Well, no, that's why we need to bring her.
That's right. That's right.
But it's. It's a shame that, like you said, Andrew, Jamestown got money.
Yep.
And it seems like we're like the redheads of Chepstow. We're not getting it.
It's embarrassing. I mean, the whole form of the government of this country, which was then exported to other countries, and we're like getting slapped in the face. I mean, it's
Michelle Picarello, the executive director of 400th, went to the State House to talk to them to try to get some of that funding, and I said, when you go, tell them the reason that they're sitting in those seats in the seat of democracy is because the Pilgrims came over here and brought the Magna Carta and wrote the Mayflower Compact, which was the precursor to Declaration, which is the precursor to all these other things, and tell them, hey, it's history and it's huge.
And then we've got, representatives, both legislatively and senators in Congress that, where are they?
Yep.
That's what this commission is being put together to do?
The commission, the 400th Commission is.
And who is the 400th Commission?
They're forming the 400 Commission.
Oh, it hasn't been officially formed.
Yeah.
It's 2016.
Yeah, I know. I know. Believe me.
No, this $100,000 was just announced. That's for the commission.
Yeah.
That's not coming to the 400 in Plymouth.
I don't believe so. No, I don't believe so. It's
Was that in
seed
Saturday's
money
paper, or was that in?
I think so. I think it was in last Wednesday's paper. Yeah.
Getting back to your promenade, one of the things that I have a problem with is, where'd this come from? This came out of nowhere. It was dust balled. It never came before the planning board, and it never came before a town meeting, and it was just, we're doing the promenade. I'm on the harbor committee, and we were like talking about this harbor plan, and then, I got a couple people from town hall saying, hey, we're doing the promenade again. I'm like, well, where's this come from?
I knew it was talked about.
$3.8 million for the Promenade South is what they're calling it.
Yeah.
I knew it was talked about a few years ago, and it just
It
seemed
was.
to,
It mothballed-
and it just
it got
seemed, yeah,
mothballed.
it got mothballed. Then, like you said, all of a sudden we're getting it.
Right, and it was just one of those things that, okay, I think it's a great thing. I know a couple former members of the planning board said, I'm not real happy about it. But it's one of the things that, I just worry that things like this come out of nowhere, and who's paying that big bill, and that it wasn't really vetted anyway.
Well, it had to be approved. The 3.8 million
Yeah.
had to come from somewhere.
I think they got a
It
grant
didn't
from
come.
the,
Right,
It
but-
didn't come from town meetings approval for the project.
Right,
they got a grant.
You got a grant to do the work.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Some of these, some of the improvements adjacent to the Plymouth Rock, that green painted crosswalk, which I think is fine, will be replaced with a more
Brick.
inviting and safer brick walkway. I mean, more inviting
And safer.
and safer. So
and tearing up the street again.
that'll make it safer.
But you talk about the promenade. I think that okay, that's fine. But what really kills me about the waterfront is that crappy stage we have.
What do you
That's
mean,
not-
the
That's not much better than the trailer
the
they
DCR
had.
one.
yeah, the
It's
DCR.
It's
Well,
horrible.
and
when I was
going
told
through
when,
DCR.
I was told, when they first started planning this, they were going to have stadium seating, and it was going to be this and be this. And then I look and I see this piece of crap they got up there, and I'm
It's
saying,
headed towards the water.
Well, part
Should
of
be headed towards Coles
It's
Hill.
as a board member of Project Arts, and we use it all summer, or Wednesdays for the free concerts. The original plan that Mike Landers was told was that one, it would be back a little bit more.
yep,
Right.
It would be bigger.
Yep.
And it would be turned more towards so that the
Coles Hill.
Coles Hill
Hill.
people could,
Yeah.
we call them our hillbillies.
Right.
And we love them. We love the hillbillies. But that's how it was. And I guess that they just said, you know what? We know what we're doing, and I think in spite of what
a
we
lot of
wanted to
DCR
do,
stuff.
there was a lot of DCR, there's a lot of politics, really, and
I mean,
and they did it the way that they wanted to, and it really is
not much
ineffective.
It's not much better than the
Stephen Karyodotis from the Philharmonic was saying it's acoustically in the completely wrong.
It looks better than the trailer, but
Yeah.
it functions the same.
Hey, what do you
Yeah.
think at home? If you've got any
Yeah.
comments or questions, 508-830-3971. We'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yes, whether
Because
it's about
otherwise
the,
it's just listening to us bloviate.
yeah,
for,
it's
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
3+1. But obviously, the promenade affects everybody out there, especially if you're a business owner.
Yeah.
Like Winnie Brooks and some of the others that have businesses right down there. I know that you were interviewed here in the paper, but please call up and let's talk about this. This is again something that affects not just the people here of Plymouth, but also all the visitors. But mainly, again, as you know, if you listen to the show, I'm a huge advocate of small businesses, and I just think this town continues to hamstring small businesses to be successful.
What do you think, Tim?
Dave
I
Gallerati,
think
where
at the
are
end of the
you?
day, it needs to be done. And it needs to
Why
be
does
done-
it need to be done?
It needs to be done before our celebration of 2020.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
If we have a
So who
celebration.
did all the work and the planning and the design originally on this promenade design?
I think that come out of DPW.
The photos courtesy of
I know what the
DPW.
photos are photos.
Yeah.
I think the
Obviously, there was a lot of
DPW.
planning that was done through the
Well,
Department
this-
of Public
the
Works and the
original
state
one-
and everybody that's involved in the process,
Right.
correct?
The original one, I believe, was done like 10 years ago. And then it was mothballed, and then it was brought back a couple
again.
years ago. And then now it's like, okay, we're doing it.
And you're only on phase 2. There's 3 phases.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the new and improved in front of the.
That's what I
Plymouth
would
Rock.
Yeah.
Plymouth Rock.
Yeah.
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 I think it'll enhance the waterfront in the town, but I know we have it's not California or Florida, and our construction seasons are short. But why couldn't they start them in the fall, until the spring, and then once the tourist season comes, they stop?
You start in the fall, you have a 2-3 month window of construction.
Right, and then you
Before
pick
you
up-
have freezing temperatures and you can't dig and the
You
ground
can't
freezes.
dig, so you
Yeah.
stop,
Et cetera,
you know.
et cetera. So,
Yeah, so you stop in the
there is a
winter.
window here, and you got to remember this work is probably prevailing wage work also.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. I would
Right,
think
and,
so.
and you want to.
So if you work in winter conditions, the work is going to slow down, therefore cost more money.
Well, I thought maybe they could work, start it in the fall once the tourist season ends.
Well, there used to be a
You
big
know.
sign on the expressway that said, if you could get if God was your builder and you got it done in 7 days, I want to hire him.
Yeah.
So,
Or when they're doing the big dig, the other one goes, Rome wasn't built in a day, and if it was, we'd use their contract.
that's right.
Contractor. That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
So you
So what do you
got to look at the feasibility of doing this work, in the
But it's
winter
getting
months.
done.
You don't want it to stop.
Yeah.
You
then
want it. You
Right,
want
you
the
wanna-
phase to finish, phase one,
Right.
and get it complete.
Because those businesses will be hampered that whole time that
Right.
it sits idle.
Correct, because if you have work that's being done here, it affects the businesses. Now you're going to affect them and stop. You're going to affect them for 12 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even though it's unfortunate that they're being affected during
No, it's true.
the busiest time of the year.
Right.
When you're having tourism come into the town.
And it's tough for this town too, because really, November's another huge tourist
That's true
month.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
So
it
it's-
is.
Yep.
So,
I mean, if it's it's probably even between the parade, the Thanksgiving Day parade.
They got that
you know-
bridge done just in time last year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No kidding. I think they were working around the clock to get that
Yeah.
fixed. The number of
Ollie
buses that come
Ollie was
in.
on them every day.
So yeah.
I'm sure there was a lot of planning and a lot of time that went into these designs.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
Whether,
it looks
your
like it.
committee was involved in it or
No,
not.
I'm not saying my committee, but did you know about it?
Inklings about it. I don't remember anything coming before the
Right.
plan. Doesn't have to come before the planning board for us to design
No,
the harbor
but
work that's being done down there.
but
Even though we are the planners of the town, but
yeah, that's my point.
there's a process that was done here. And
Yeah.
I'm sure it took longer than 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
This process to design this work. I'm sure it was started 10 years ago.
Right, it was.
And the first shovel happened when? Last year?
No, this year I thought.
This is phase 2, isn't it?
This is phase. Phase 2 is going to be starting. Yeah. So phase 1's already. I think phase
phase
1
one
was
was
the
phase two.
rotary.
The rotary.
Phase 1 was that rotary and
So,
everything. in
that was
area.
last
That
year.
went well.
Yeah.
It's not a rotary, it's a
few-
roundabout.
A
It's a
roundabout.
roundabout, yeah.
So there was,
Get the terminology right.
there was a few glitches,
Yeah.
Similar to the roundabouts we were going to get,
and
Long Pond Road and Clark
Yep.
Road,
Yeah.
halfway pond
Halfway
road.
Pond Road and Long Pond Road.
So Tim, what do you want to talk about?
I'm fine with the list we have right here.
Well,
What's next on the list?
Dog park.
All right,
Steve.
dog park, Steve.
Oh, come on, dog park.
See? Go ahead, Steve.
It's a disaster. Our economic director, Jessica Casey, planned out this dog park. She talked to all the department heads, the police, the fire, health department, everyone, to make sure she had input from everyone on how to design the dog park and where in this park it should be. The residents are totally against it.
Every single one of them.
Just about, yeah. Everyone's
Said
against
just
it.
about,
NIMBY?
not all are against it.
Majority of the residents are against it.
And even in the opinion page this weekend for the old colony too, they were out of the people that they have write in. I think about 75-80% were against
The
it.
majority of the people and all of the abutters are against it, even though there is a 100-foot, 100-foot buffer of trees. They don't want a dog park. They, you can't mix dogs with kids. You're not going to mix dogs with kids. There's not enough parking. I mean, every reason under the sun was used. I have a dog, and I go to the dog park in Mashpee.
That means we must
have
have
a caller. We have a caller.
Hey, Dave.
Is it Dave?
Hello?
Oh boy, you got all kinds of stuff going on
Hey,
there.
you're back!
You got the dog park that's like the craziest thing I ever heard of. Right? I mean, like, who's the dog park, for God's sakes? Would you stop it with the dog park?
Oh,
Right?
well, we
That's the
want
most ridiculous thing I ever heard in my life.
There's
Oh,
9,000
we'll put 'em on the
dogs
beach then.
around.
What the hell's wrong with these people?
We'll put him on the beach.
With the piping plovers.
So I want to
Yeah.
go back to you guys with Destination Plymouth. It's not a coordinated effort. You got all these different agencies. You got the Chamber of Commerce. You got the Destination Plymouth. You've got God knows the Visitor Service Board, right? You get all these different agencies. None of them are coordinated, right?
Yep.
And you're talking about the waterfront.
Yep.
So what do? What do you do?
Yeah.
I don't have the answer.
You called up without
What's
the
you call
answer?
up for then? Go back and think about it. Call us back.
What do you think about the dog park?
How about getting somebody to get these people to work together?
Yep. Gee, like a mayor?
All right, so I got
Now you want to go to mayor versus town meeting.
And
Okay.
the dog park is free.
So how about the graffiti and the cleanliness of the town?
What about it?
Okay, so I took a walk downtown the other day, walked all around, and came down by Coles Hill, came down behind School Street, and there's a massive mural on the back of what used to be the old Woolworths, and of course, I'm probably the only one old enough to remember that it was a Woolworths.
Oh, I remember.
So, and if you look down in between all those buildings behind Crafty's building,
Yeah.
it used to be Butner's, and it's just a mess down there. There's homeless people living there, there's garbage bags, there's trash, there's all kinds of stuff. Now, if you were a tourist and you came to Plymouth and you walked around and you went up on
Burial Hill.
on the Burial Hill, what would you think? What would you think? It looks awful.
Yeah.
I think I was in Mattapan.
Yeah. Ooh.
No, you're right, Dave. You got a lot of great points there.
Don't we have a program? A graffiti program?
I thought there was a graffiti.
Yeah,
I
there
think
was a
there
graffiti
was, but I
ban.
think they ran out of money.
Yeah.
All
It takes is money.
I think it was Bruce Aaron's, I believe, but I'm
Well,
not
we just
sure.
had cleanup day. This past Saturday, wasn't it cleanup day?
The cleanup day, I think they did a nice job.
Yep.
But when you drive up to a light in town, especially like some of these areas like West Plymouth, if you get over by the fire station and you look out your window as you're sitting at the light, and what do you see? Trash. You see cigarette butts. You got weeds growing up all over the place.
Yep.
And I don't know who's in charge of that. I don't know. You know, I know the DPW is like probably overworked with things they have to do. They get this
Yep.
this sewer project and all this other jazz. So
Yep.
I don't know. You know, I don't have the answers, but I just know I walk around my properties and I clean them up.
Yep.
Yeah.
We used to have,
So you know,
Prisoners pick up trash.
we used to have prisoners from the
I just like
jail.
to see other people do the same.
Yeah, definitely.
We used to have prisoners from the jail that,
Maybe that might be a nice suggestion for Sheriff Joe.
you know,
Yeah.
that used to go around and clean up, you know, around the town of Plymouth. I haven't seen him in a while.
No.
You know, probably in over a year I haven't seen him. But I know we used to have,
You've been out of jail for a
Election
while.
season, I think maybe somebody ought to talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I will. I'll shoot Joe an email
There you go.
because
Getting it done.
I think that's important. And you're right, Dave. I mean, you know, for this to be again, quote unquote, America's town, and we
They
see
take pride in it.
and the pride that we should have in this town, and you do see stuff like that. And I agree with it. That backside of School Street, you walk that. You know, it is pretty eye-opening.
Sketchy.
Yeah.
Well,
Same.
it's across the entire town.
Yeah,
You drive down
yeah,
Bourne, you drive
right,
down
yeah,
Bourne
it's good
Road,
work.
you go
I mean, the
anywhere.
town in general looks pretty good. It's good to see. We've got all these restaurants and bars, and everybody kind of complains about that. But when you go on vacation, I mean, you know, that's what people do. They go to
Yeah.
restaurants and bars. So I don't think it's the worst thing, as long as we don't have fights and problems with crime.
Yep.
But I know years ago I went to Kennebunkport, and I remember nothing about Kennebunkport other than how clean it was, how they had like the landscape police out there, you know?
Yep.
Every lawn you walked by was cut perfectly, and the flowers were planted, and the mulch was perfect. And I don't remember the restaurants I ate in, I don't remember the place I stayed, but I remember thinking how beautiful it was, just from that standpoint.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, it starts at home, doesn't it? Teaching your children
Yeah.
not to throw
think
things
that's
out
a
the
good
window.
point. Conscientious.
Be conscientious about the
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah. Pride.
Conscientious about your property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
It's a good
starts
point.
at home.
I've
right?
seen the cleanup day, and like Bourne Road would look good, and 4 days later,
It's trashed out again.
4
Trash
days
out
later, you drive down and you see water bottles, you see trash,
Empty
you know,
can,
empty
beer
cans,
bottles,
beer
cans.
We find nips and
Yeah, I mean, I don't know,
Yep.
I don't know how you stop it. You know, I mean,
It's all about enforcement, but can you?
Yeah.
That means taxes go up because you have to hire
right.
the litter police,
Right.
so to speak.
you know, it's
Well,
So they ask the residents like us driving around, if you see somebody throwing something out the window, get their license plate number, and report it to the police.
Right.
Because you're not going to track them down and chase them down because you might end up with a 12 gauge facing you when you walk up to the car. You don't want road rage or anything going on. So it's all about enforcement. And in order to do enforcement, you need more police.
Right.
Well, I think the police, though, have done, over the last few years, because I remember back 5-6 years ago, every time you'd read in the paper, there'd always be fights outside of this bar and that bar. And, now that they've got the bicycle police, because they can kind of sneak up on people and ride around, which I think is great, they've really cut down on those, but also a lot of the drug use, too. I mean, there's still drug use going on, let's face it. That'll never go away.
Yeah, well, that's downtown. I'm talking about the entire town.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about even that, was it Forest Ave? That, they're on bikes all the time, and they're catching people, but I think that there's got to be something that can be done. And again, how many people?
It's the same thing with cutting grass if it's town property, or if it's weeds growing up at a street light, or whatever the case may be. If it's owned by the state, it's the state's responsibility. Right. And the state will tell you how to grow back grass after they do a project. They want the birds to land on it, and after they've been eating some seeds, when they poop, they leave the seed behind. That's how the grass will grow. That's how they plant their grass, as far as the state is concerned, when they do their projects. So we have to increase the amount of DPW employees again. What does the public want to pay for? Do they want more DPW workers to do these things? Do they want more police? You have to pay for those services.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. You
So
do.
where do you draw the line? The Department of Public Works is understaffed.
Right.
Without a doubt. And so isn't the fire department, so isn't the police department.
Right.
Everybody's understaffed, and they would love to get more patrols out there, more firemen, more police, more DPW. But look at the taxes. We're looking at the sewer.
Oh, my God.
You're looking at the 2 high schools we just did. You're still not done paying for the new middle school.
Nope.
And the
you
senior
got a
center.
nuclear power plant going away?
Let me finish. You got a nuclear power plant that's going to be going away.
He's going now.
Yeah, and now you have also $135 million that needs work on the streets in this town. Right now, if you look at the charts on the shape of the roads from a rating of 100 going down, every year, every street, accepted and unaccepted, the rating goes down. We are not spending enough funding and investing up in the roads in the town of Plymouth. So it just continually gets worse and worse.
Right.
Have you driven the roads in Plymouth?
Oh, yeah.
You've noticed they're getting worse every year, right?
Yep.
They don't get any better.
Right.
We have to augment Chapter 90. Eventually, something has to be done. But when you have the sewer scenario come into play,
Yep.
how can you ask the taxpayers to pay any more money on the roads?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's a continual process. So
It's just
Never ending.
Right.
it just keeps multiplying.
Yeah.
right, multiplying exponentially.
But if you don't do the work on the roads and the infrastructure in the town of Plymouth, the infrastructure includes the sewer,
Yep.
right? What happens? This is what happens.
Right.
You have
Exactly.
failures.
Right?
Exactly.
135 million is only going to increase.
Oh, yeah.
Cost of doing work on roads is just going to exponentially get higher and higher.
Right.
And the rating of the roads are going down. It's going to cost you more than 135 million at the end of the day. So something needs to be done looking forward.
And every town is having,
The
no matter
same
what
issue.
size,
Oh, yeah.
the same
Problems.
issues.
Yep.
I just wish we would take more of our excise tax and put it to the roads instead of into the general fund.
Well, that is being suggested, and I
And it
would
has been
agree
for
that
years.
the town receives somewhere around $6 to $7 million a year in vehicle excise tax. It is used into the general fund. DPW, fire, police, schools, that's where that funding is going, the vehicle excise tax. If you take some of it away, you're going to take away what? Funding for DPW,
Oh, yeah,
police,
Police,
fire,
man and woman power.
woman power. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
That's right.
You take it away, you got to take it from somewhere else.
Right.
Or you increase the taxes,
Just, yeah.
right?
Yeah. But I think your earlier comment about pride and teaching your children to have pride.
I think that's
in their-
important,
Yeah, I
It
think that's a
is.
huge part of it.
Well, I mean, you drive around, you're driving around town, and it floors me when you just see people throw stuff out the window.
I've seen it, right? I just shake my head. It's
Yeah.
at night, and of course
Yeah.
I don't drive as fast as they do.
Right.
Talking about
Yeah.
speeds, I got on Bourne Road at the speed limit, or even 5 miles above the speed limit, and I got 7 people on my butt,
Yep.
right on my tailgate.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's at 5 o'clock in the morning trying
Yeah.
to push me down the road. Is it him?
Yeah.
That was you?
No.
I've had people pass me on Bourne Road.
It's amazing.
It's crazy. They fly. And the
People
speed
on the
limit's
Road is the
35.
windy
Everybody's in a
road.
hurry to go nowhere.
Yeah, and the speed limit's 35.
Yeah.
And
Is it really
that's
35?
that's a
Wow.
good speed. That's a safe
In
speed.
some sections, it's even less.
Yeah.
David,
Hey,
you still
Dave,
there?
thanks for calling in. No, I don't think he's there anymore, but
He's
thanks for
good.
calling in.
Oh, thank you, David.
Up.
Uh-oh.
We have
We got
it.
the Meister Miker.
Here comes the boss.
You guys lost David. David, I'm sorry that they just went off on a tirade on you. But
No, I'm going to call Sheriff Joe. He gave us a great suggestion.
Oh, absolutely.
That's right.
what I
back.
wanted to do, guys, was that just wanted to make sure that we encourage everybody to get out and vote. The election, this show will be rerun again next week, so you'll be able to watch yourselves on television.
Scary thought.
Not that you're going to want to do that, but I just wanted to encourage you all to get out and vote,
Yep.
and encourage everybody at home to get out and vote. Make
Yeah,
your
because they
choices.
changed the voting day from this weekend to next weekend.
It's going to be on the 14th.
Yep. Yep.
And
That's
the
a
reason
great
for
thing.
that is
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
the
Mother's
Charter
Day.
Review Committee made a suggestion at town meeting. I was a member of the Charter Review Committee, and we discussed this, and we were trying to get the numbers a little higher. And the entire committee felt that even if we get it up a half a percentage point,
Yeah.
it's a half a percentage point.
Yep.
Plus, a lot of people had spoken to the Charter Review Committee about, well, why do they hold it on Mother's Day weekend?
Yeah.
Who wants to go vote
Yeah.
on Mother's Day weekend?
A lot of people go away for the
Some
weekend.
people
My
go
mother doesn't
away.
live here.
Right.
If you're going to a different state to visit your
Yeah.
mother, you're not even here. All you can do it absentee ballot.
Right.
But a lot of people forget that
Yeah.
they can utilize the
Yeah.
absentee
Right,
ballot
exactly.
system. So then we suggested that at the town meeting, and the change was made. That's why we're not voting on Mother's Day weekend this weekend.
All because of you?
Not because of
Wow,
me,
Tim
because it's a suggestion of the
made it
Charter Review-
happen.
Because of all the mothers
Charter
out
Review
there.
Committee made a
To
suggestion.
all the mothers out there.
Town meeting voted.
See, for once
Make
you can
that
blame
change.
your mother.
That's right. That's
And the
right.
Right?
only-
And God
only-
rest my mother's soul.
Mine too.
Mine too.
Happy
Mine
Mother's Day.
too.
Yeah.
But anyways, what I wanted to do was I wanted to personally come out and endorse 2 people for election. I don't. You guys know I normally don't do this, but this is a special case to me. Russ Shirley is running for the Housing Authority. Russ was an integral part with Stevie and I last year, and the business community in helping to get the senior citizens air conditioning units over at Castle Street and over on South Street.
Should be applauded.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a monumental effort, but the business community stepped up.
Yep.
Russ stepped up, and I'm very happy to say that Russ has only missed 1 meeting of the Housing Authority since that occurrence. He's attended every meeting, and he's a busy
for him.
guy. He travels throughout the United States for his job. But anyways, I wanted to personally ask everybody to please remember Russ when it comes to voting on the 14th. And also, I think it's appropriate for me to endorse my good friend Rob Beelan to get the vacated seat. Mark has done well by the town.
Wow.
He's stepping down, and Rob is running for the office, and he's put in his time. He's worked hard, and I have written a letter. I'm endorsing him. I'm backing him, and I hope that people will remember him on voting day. Also, Rob Beelan for Planning Board, and Russ Shirley for the Housing Authority, and
Great.
everybody else get out and make your choices.
Yes.
And thank
right.
you very much, gentlemen, for what you
And
do.
Russell's platform should be an air conditioner in every home.
Well,
Or Ken Bukes and
Ken
Steve
Bukes and
Lyden are coming in.
And they're going to kick your ass.
If you don't want
I
Steve
gotta-
Lyden and Ken
I
Bukes in
gotta
your
say
home.
one thing too. It was the police department, the fire department,
it was everybody.
and a lot of other people. The police department got off at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they came over to Castle Hill to help install air conditioners. Brewster Ambulance sent people over. The fire department. I mean, it was just.
That was a great community effort.
It was a whole community effort, and it was just amazing to see all the different people get together.
Yeah.
And Russ Shirley was a part of it, and I support Russ Shirley.
Yep, I do too.
I'm on a few committees, and you're on a few committees, and Tim, and we sit in our committees, and we take part, and we're part of the committee. Bob Beelen has been an alternate, and he has got to be. I mean, he has got to be ready to be called on to participate and be a member and a voting member at every meeting, or just about every meeting. And he's ready, and he's done this. He sat there week after week, sitting there. He reviews all his material. So I support Bob Beelen too.
Yeah, well, let me say this about Bob. Bob's a fantastic man. He's given a lot of time and effort to the town of Plymouth School Committee.
Amen.
Different other committees throughout the entire town. He works for the state. He's prepared for every planning board meeting as the alternate, and I myself sat as the alternate to the planning board for probably a little over 4 years. You have to be ready, and he has been, and his input is fantastic as far as what goes on, because he participates in the meetings, and he gives his opinions on things, which we allow as planning board members, and they're fantastic input from Bob. So I'll be supporting Bob also. And I personally do know Mr. Bartoli, and he's a fantastic man and very smart also. So, but Bob deserves the position on the planning board, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it's great that we have good people, qualified people, capable
Willing to do
people,
that.
above and beyond people who who run for these positions because in most cases they're thankless jobs.
It's certainly not being paid.
No, they're not being paid. It's a lot of hours away from home.
Well, I did get a raise. I got double what I got last year.
There you go. There you go.
Moving up in the world.
And it's really commendable to all you guys that sit on these committees, and giving your time for it. I mean, it really is, and because of that, the town of Plymouth is better for it.
Steve was just talking about how everybody got together as far as the air conditioners.
Yeah,
were
it was
concerned,
great.
right? Wouldn't it be amazing if everybody got together, as far as tourism and everything, got together similar to that?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
Wouldn't
great?
that be amazing?
And it's just as urgent.
So how do you accomplish that?
Oh, we have a comment again.
And I want to thank you guys for what you do all the time, because the Amigos was a show about nothing,
Still is, isn't it?
and it still is. Now, what if we were able to raise up $135 million?
Let me pull a check out of my pocket right now. I'll start.
Yeah.
I don't want to turn.
How would
this
we do
into-
that?
I don't want to turn this into a political thing, but I did hear somebody had an idea about something.
Oh, the boat ride, the
And
Mayflower.
There was an idea floated about town that to add another meals tax. To
I
pay for the
heard
sewer
something
pipe.
about that too.
Yeah.
Little inklings about that. Maybe a scratch ticket.
That'd be nice too.
Huh?
Yeah.
But we probably have to
state will
wait.
end up taking
We
some of
probably
it.
have
The state
to
would
wait
take it
just
away,
as
yeah.
long as we did for the plates.
Yeah. Yeah.
The state should do the Plymouth 400 scratch ticket. With the boat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there
If
you
the
go.
state gives us all the money.
7
Yeah.
boats, you win $1 million.
Wow.
$10 ticket.
You got to get 1 million people to do that.
Oh, you got how many years have we got to raise it? If the state would do something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to turn it into a political advocacy type thing. I
Right.
just wanted to make sure I get those little blurbs out, and you guys just keep on talking about nothing.
Okay,
Kenny, you're welcome.
we do that best.
Kenny, you're welcome
Hey,
anytime.
I'll give you a call later. We'll talk about nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we got about 15 minutes left. Again, I just want to get a couple quick
Shameless plugs.
shameless
Oh, we
plugs
don't
in.
get the plugs. I wanted to.
Well,
What's left?
we got time.
Wait a minute now. Shameless plugs. Who are we plugging now?
Yeah, well, I'll be playing this Saturday night at the Pilgrim Sands, and as well as we're coming up to the
Are you the guy that got the little hat in front for people to throw money in?
exactly. Hey, I pay my
proud of the
excise
best
tax with
Subways.
that.
Yeah, that's right.
And also June 5th down at the in Nelson Park, we've got the 8th annual Scleroderma Foundation, the Walk for a Cure. This is the autoimmune disease that I have that almost killed me about 15 years ago, and I still struggle with some of the ailments from it. But if anybody is interested in doing any raffle baskets with wine baskets or food baskets or whatever, you can contact the number here at 508-830-3971, and Ken will put you in touch with me. And then also, my last shameless plug is I've been honored to be part of the Loretta LaRoche Institute. I'm going to be speaking May 19th, a Thursday night from 7 to 9 at the Studio G, talking about my book, A Celebration of Life, A Story of Hope, A Miracle and the Power of Attitude, talking about life balance and whatnot. So you can actually go on to contact me at andrew@andrewboterry.com, and I'll be more than happy to put you in touch with the link to purchase tickets for that. So that's it. I mean, hey, these guys go to meetings, and I do my shameless plug.
There you go.
Exactly.
You should be one of the
Those are your
underwriters.
meetings, right?
These are my meetings. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You should be one of the underwriters.
That's right.
I should. Where's Karen?
We'll put you on the list.
But just quickly back to the dog park.
The dog park.
The way I look at it is dog parks are big like in the city. Why? Because people live in apartments. Everybody in West Plymouth that pretty much has a front and backyard. So why do they need a dog park?
There's 99,000 registered dogs in Plymouth. They want a place where because there's a leash law. You can't let your dogs run loose.
You can't let them on the beach.
You can't let them on the beach. So there's different towns, like Falmouth has a beautiful dog park. Mashpee just opened one, and it's great. I go there once in a while because my daughter lives down there. So when I go. And it serves a lot of different purposes. It brings people together who have dogs. You'd be surprised how many people who don't have dogs that sit around the park and want to pat the dogs and stuff like that. It's socialization for them. Where you restricting your dogs to being on leash is one place to let your dogs run, have exercise, and be able to play with your dogs in an open area, even though it is fenced in. And usually they have two gates. You walk into one gate, you close, and the other gate opens up that gets into the area. They have two different sections, one's for large dogs, one for small dogs. The company, it's not going to cost the town anything. There is a gentleman, I forget who they said he was, but he started a foundation, and he gives up to $250,000 to a town to build a dog park.
Wow.
10% is for design, and the 90% is for construction. So this group, they're using a park down Allerton Street now, which is not officially a dog park, and kids want to use it sometimes during the day, but they can't because there's probably 5, 6, 7, 8 dogs running around. It's, so the kids, have been denied access or don't feel safe to go in the park with the dog. So, it's not just cities. Like I said, Falmouth has one, Mashpee has one. There's another place on the South Shore. I forget where they said they have one, but I know in Falmouth I've been to that one, and I've been to one in Mashpee.
There was just one approved in, I think, Wareham, Buttermilk Bay area.
Was it Wareham?
After the meeting's over, I'll look it up.
Okay, but
there has one just got approved.
There is a need for a dog park.
The final decision is with the Board of Selectmen, correct?
Yes, it is.
And when is their hearing for that?
They already had one last night.
During an election year?
And they're going to have it, I believe, next week. They asked for some information, and then when they get the information back, they're going to discuss it and then make the decision next week. I think they're also going to make the decision.
Anything's tough with NIMBY, not in my backyard.
And I think a lot of it, that's what it is. So
in some cases,
that's my opinion.
I would have taken a dog park over wind turbines.
Well, they have.
without a doubt.
Without
a doubt.
They have their,
My area. Yep.
There's space for, a ballpark and a ball field and a dog park, and they wanted to switch
About
them
solar
around.
panels.
But if they have the ballpark, it cuts into the buffer. And so, I mean, that was all, the committee that was formed, Jessica Casey's committee, and, Ted Bubbins, Ted Bubbins, and all got together, and they decided this would be the best spot, and these people just don't want it there. So
Keeping on the dog theme is in Great Britain, they're actually, it's in front of their legislation right now, or Parliament, actually I should say, that they're going to be introducing paternity. So if you get a dog, like a new dog, you get to have days off from work.
I saw that. Yes, I saw that. Paternity leave.
You know.
Paternity leave.
Paternity leave.
You know,
Where is this?
Like
What country is
in
that?
Great Britain.
In Great Britain.
The one that just gave $4 million to the Plymouth, England.
Yeah.
you know.
But I think what it shows you is that society has changed where, in many cases, that dog is that person or person's kids. I mean,
Kids.
that's,
Oh, yeah.
A lot of it is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
A lot of
Yeah.
it is.
Definitely.
You know.
So that's why I told Senator DiMacedo when they were talking about the cell phone hands-free, I'm going, well, what about the people that drive with their frickin' dog sitting in their front lap while they're driving the car?
So the dog should have a hands-free phone, or
Yeah, I think the dog should have a hands-free phone. But shouldn't, I mean, talk about distracted driving.
Paulus Communications.
Paulus, yeah, there you go. There you go.
now we got it going. Now we got it going. All right, gentlemen.
Okay. You said you wanted to talk about the transfer station and the fees going up.
Yeah.
All right. Fees are going up supposedly right now to $196 a year for the transfer station.
Yes.
One of the reasons why the fee is going up so much is, one reason is last year the DPW director, the town manager, they recommended an increase to $145, and the $145 would pay for everything that all cost, for the transfer station. The selectmen thought it was too much, so they delayed it to make up their mind. While they delayed it, some people were going to the town hall and buying stickers at the old rate for $90 because they hadn't passed a new rate yet. So finally they decided on the fee of $115. $115 was not enough to pay for all the expenses. Town meeting had to appropriate, I think, $100 and something thousand to pay for the shortage because the selectmen did not follow the recommendation of the town manager and the DPW. And the other reason, so the fee should have been $145, not $115. So, and the other thing is that our tipping fees with CMAS have gone up.
Oh yeah.
So
That was the point.
and that is that's another reason why it's gone up.
And
And
but
the other reason is the recyclable market is
crap.
Down.
down.
Yeah.
Down right.
My
Dramatically.
nephew works for a recycling company up in New Hampshire, and he was laid off 6 months ago, and they just closed 3 different plants up there because there's no money.
And
There has
China,
been- there has
China, which
been
is
a
one of our biggest
decline in-
markets, has cut back too on the recycled that they were taking.
There has been a little bit of a decline in the people who go to the transfer station too.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
But the way I look at it, if I go to the transfer station,
Yep.
so if I'm going to go and it's $196, I have my choice. I can go pay $196 and go to the transfer station. I can go town curbside. I can go private hauler.
Yep.
So I have
You have options.
options.
Yep.
So and a lot of people, when at one time the town didn't want to have any transfer station.
Right.
They wanted to go all curbside.
But you have to look at the cost benefit of having that open, whether it's economically feasible to
As
keep
long
the
as
transfer
people,
station
as long as
open.
people are willing to pay the price,
Right.
Well, if
Right.
it has to be augmented by the taxpayer because the
Right.
fees aren't enough.
Right, exactly.
then
That's
then
my
it
point.
should not be there.
But that
It
was
should be eliminated.
the
Right.
reason the fee wasn't enough last year was because the selectmen would not approve the $145 rate that was.
It should have been
It-
approved at $145
But it wasn't.
if that's what it costs.
Because I have a
That-
I private
that's
haul
the-
at a
that's the-
condo. We have our own. We have a company come in that hauls, so I pay for that. But yet, if there's that shortage that you're talking about, I'm paying for that
Wrap
as
it up.
well.
Well, what happened was, like I said, they didn't approve the $145 last year, so they approved the $115, and the taxpayer out of a fund from had to pay the difference.
Yeah.
But this year,
$30 per.
yeah. Well, they
$30
had.
more is nothing.
It's $30 that the taxpayer had to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's my
And that
concern.
$30 could have went toward what?
But that's the town.
Something else.
Oh,
But that's,
promenade.
Roads, promenade,
Promenade.
But that.
streets,
But that was
police,
because of the
fire.
selectmen.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
selectmen did that.
And
It
it said
wasn't.
exponentially
Yeah.
how that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
We're all okay. And don't forget, if you see Karen and Ken around town, please stop and say hello. Again, thank you for being on this, the Quattro Amigos.
Quattro Amigos.
And,
plus one.
That's me. And same bad time, same bad station. We'll see you hopefully next month. In the meantime, rock out Plymouth. And if you see some litter, pick it up.
Don't forget to vote.
Don't forget to vote.
Vote.
The 14th.
Vote.
See you in 7. Dave Gallerani, thank you, buddy.
Shut off the mics an hour and a half ago.